Hello fellow travelers, my name's SG and welcome to the channel. Today we'll be continuing on with Dante's Inferno, Canto 16. Now last time we were with Dante and Virgil, they were still going through the River of Fire, but Dante met a familiar face. He met a teacher who had given him a little life advice, a little bit of what's going to come later on, and even talked about a little bit of the residents that he knew himself. It left in a little bit of a sad state, but from now we're moving on to the next level. Now was I where was heard the reverberation of water falling into the next round, like to what humming which the beehives make, when shadows three together started forth, running from out of company, that passed beneath the reign of the sharp martyrdom. Towards us they came, and each cried out, "Stop thou, for by the garb of us thou seemest to be someone of our depraved city." Ah me, what wounds I saw upon their limbs, recent and ancient, by the flames burnt in. It pains me still but to remember it. On to their cries my teacher paused attentive. He turned his face towards me, and now wait. He said, "To these we should be courteous, and if it were not for the fire that darts the nature of this region, I should say that haste were more becoming than thee than them." As soon as we stood still, they recommended the old refrain, and when they overtook us formed of themselves a wheel, all three of them, as champions stripped and oiled are wont to do, watching for their advantage and their hold, before they come to blows and thrust between them, thus wheeling around just every one of his visage direct to me, so that in opposite wise his neck and feet continual journey made. And, if the misery of this soft place bring in disdain ourselves and our entries, began one, and our aspect black and blistered, let the renown of us thy mind decline, to tell us who thou art, and who thou securely thy living feet dost move along those hell. He in whose footprints thou dost not see me treading, naked and skinless, through he may not know, was of great rank than thou dost think. He was the grandson of the good Gualdera. His name was Guiado Guerra, and in life much did he with his wisdom and his sword. The other, whose close by me treads the sand, Tahigaiho Albrajandi is, whose fame above there in the world should be welcome. And I, who with them on the cross and place, Shokobo Rusticisi was, and truly my savage wife more than aught else doth harm me. Could I have been protected from the fire, below I should have thrown myself among them, and think the teacher would have suffered it. But as I should have burned and baked myself, my terror overmastered my goodwill, which made me greedy of embracing them. Then I began, "Sorrow and not disdain did your condition fix within me so, that tardily is wholly is stripped off. As soon as this my lord said unto me, words on account of which I thought within me, that people such as you were approaching. I of your city am, and evermore. Your labors and your honorable names I with affection have retraced and heard. I leave the gall and go for the sweet fruits promised to me by the voracious leader, but to the center first I must plunge. So may the soul for a long while conduct those limbs of thine," did he make answer then, "and so may thy renown shine after thee. Valor and courtesy, say if they dwell within our city, as they used to do, or if they wholly have gone out of it. For Guillermo Borsir, who is in torment with us of late, and goes there with his comrades, doth greatly mortify us with his words. The new inhabitants of the sudden gains, pride and extravagance, have in thee engendered Florence, so that thou weepest thereat already." In this wise I exclaimed with face uplifted, And the three talking that for my reply looked at each other as one looks at truth. In other times so little in doth cost thee, replied they all. To satisfy another happy art thou, thus speak at thy will. Therefore, if thy escape from these dark places, and come to re-behold the beauteous stars, when it shall pleasure thee to say, I was, see that thou speak of us unto the people. Then they broke up the wheel, and in their flight it seems as if their angle legs were wings. Not an amen could possibly be said, so rapidly as they disappeared. Wherefore the master deemed best to depart. I followed him, and little had we gone, before the sound of water was near us, that speaking we should hardly have been heard. Even as the stream, which holdeth its own course, the first from Mount Veso towards the east, upon the left-hand slope of Apennine, which is above called Acupaceta, ere it down descended into its low bed, and at Forli is vacant of the name, reverberates there from San Benedito, from Alps, by falling at a single leap, where for 1,000 there were room enough. Thus downward from a bank precipitate, we found resounding that dark-tinted water, so that it soon the ear would have offended. I had a cord around about me girt, and therewithal I whilom had designed to take the panther with the painted skin. After I this had all from me unloosened, as my conductor had commanded me, I reached it to him, gathered up and coiled, whereat he turned himself to the right side, and at a little distance from the verge he cast it down into the deep abyss. It must needs to be some novelty respond, I said within myself. To the new signal the master with his eyes is following so. Ah me, how very cautious men should be, with those who not alone behold the act, but with their wisdom look into their thoughts. He said to me, Soon there will be upward come. What I await, and what thy thought is dreaming, must soon reveal itself upon thy sight. I to that truth, which has the face of falsehood, a man should close his lips as far as may be, because without his fault it causes shame. But here I cannot, and reader, by the notes of this my comedy to thee I swear, so may thee not be void of lasting favor. Athwart that dense and darksome atmosphere, I saw a figure swimming upward come, marvelous unto every steadfast heart, even as he returns who goeth down, sometimes to clear an anchor which had grappled reef, and aught else that in the sea is hidden, who upward stretches and draws in his feet. Alright, now that we've read the chapter, let's talk about it, shall we? In this one, Dante and Virgil are entering the violence circle. In this one, as we are making our way to a river that supposedly has a waterfall at it, where Virgil says that that will be their next stop, they meet three spirits, or at least three denizens of this circle. And these ones are very prominent people of the world. They were supposedly very important people of their time. And they go to Dante and ask, how is the current world out there? How are things up there? They would like to know if there's still justice in the world or if not. And Dante gives them a straight answer as best he can without giving away too much. They're kind of sad that their memories aren't really responding very well, and Dante promises to keep them and spread their word if he ever does make it out of hell. They're grateful and let him pass, so forth. The interesting thing about them is that they are constantly taking the shape of a wheel. Not to say that they're stuck like that, it looks like they can actually change shapes into different forms, even so far as taking on the form of wings in a way. And as Virgil and Dante continue down the path of the river, they find a waterfall that has a lake that leads into it. There, Virgil takes off the binding that he keeps on Dante, which was mentioned in early on, like I would say maybe Canto 12, I believe, when they were going through the fires. And from there, he throws that, I guess you could say, bond into the water, and now something's about to come out. But we don't know what that is until next time. I hope you guys enjoyed this chapter. I will be back next week to continue it and finish with Canto 17. We are about halfway through, so that's something to look forward to. Thanks again for sticking to it. If you come back and keep wanting to watch more of the Dante videos, I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys Wednesday with another review. And see you there. Have a great one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Really appreciate it.